Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to a brand new live episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. No costume for me today, but joined, as always, by the Sneider himself. Or what's going on over there? I don't know. Who is that masked man? Harry is. Hey-oh.
Hello, Johnny boy.
What's going on, buddy? What's going on?
I really promised John. I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to touch the microphone. First thing right off the bat. Pick up the microphone. Woo! It's going to be a good show today, guys. I got a lot to say. A lot on my mind.
We got a lot going on for sure, man. Sorry, I guess I got to wipe the makeup off of my girlfriend there. She was giving me a big hug earlier. We got so much to get into here today. Thank you so much for joining us right off the bat. Thanks already for some great Streamlabs and Superchats that are coming through. Send them in as we go along. You see the address above Jeff's head. You guys know how to do Super Chats on YouTube, but we got so much happening in the world of entertainment. Breaking news from a few days ago, all kinds of stuff we're covering. The big news of the week, we'll talk about the David Fincher Squid Game situation. We'll talk about a new Cliffhanger reboot that has nothing to do with Stallone. That's an interesting conversation. The Wicked first reactions, the people talking about this stuff. We're going to get some trailers and some other big news that are happening as well. But checking in with you, Jeff. How are you feeling? How are you doing? How's this Halloween treating you? Where are you at right now, mentally and emotionally in your life?
What a deep, provocative question to start.
You want to answer it, or are you good?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm hanging in there like everybody else. I'm just trying to make it to the end of the year.
Aren't we all? Good. I just wanted to check in. I hope all of you who are joining us are having a fun Halloween, whether you've already gone out trick-or-treating or if you're just hanging out watching horror movies or what have you. We appreciate it. We're going to keep it chill tonight. We're going to stay indoors. We've got this new HBO documentary on Kundalini yoga about the Guru Jagat and that old stuff. So we're going to watch that whole series tonight. That's what we're doing on Halloween because our time with doing that kind of watching scary movies and stuff is over for us. So that's what we're doing. Watching something scary, something else scary in our lives. But all right, so let's get into it, Jeff. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into the first story. This just broke as we were coming to air, but this apparently is happening. This is being reported by The Hollywood Reporter. James Hibbard at The Hollywood Reporter is saying that Warner Brothers has been quietly developing at least one film set in George R.R. Martin's epic fantasy universe, The Game of Thrones. There, multiple sources describe the project as very early stages of development with no filmmaker, cast, or writer yet attached. But the company is keen on exploring the idea of Westeros invading cinemas, and the movie might represent a shift in the company's strategy regarding the property itself, moving off of the small screen and on to the big screen here. So, Jeff, this is some interesting news here. Do you think this works? Do you like this idea? You know, we're seeing right now how HBO has the Penguin going. That's going to lead up into the Batman Part 2. So does this feel like this makes sense? Is this going to be connected to the TV shows? Overall, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't like it.
You do like it?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Tell me why.
Like this? They were getting something as part of their HBO subscription. Now they're going to have to go pay extra to go to the theater to get the rest of the story.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Do you think they're saying like this is a shift in strategy in their approach here?
Yeah, I think they're like, listen, we already have these HBO subscribers. Like, you know, they're still staying with HBO even when Game of Thrones is off the air.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, if we already have them and their money, why aren't we just trying to get more of their money by making a movie, essentially? Like, you know, why are we just giving it away as part of the subscription if this is like our biggest IP, especially when the future of things like Harry Potter, right, are on the small screen.
Right.
So that we're going to include as part of the package. So why are we, you know, let's make Game of Thrones a theatrical thing. I mean, to me, it makes sense if I'm like sitting here as an investor of Warner Brothers or HBO, like I'm happy about this, but on the whole, as a consumer, I don't think I'd be happy. No.
Yeah, it seems like there's a move now to do kind of what Marvel does now with their MCU TV shows. Those are now in the canon of the overall theatrical universe as well. And we're seeing this with the Penguin, as I mentioned, but also Dune Prophecy, which is about to come out, Jeff. Dune Prophecy connected to the Dune movies. So maybe this is a shift, but you do mention the Harry Potter stuff. That's interesting because that's going to be obviously not connected to the movies that came beforehand. This could be a whole new approach and interpretation. So this is a fascinating idea. And the fact that it's at least one, which means there may be more than one movie that they're thinking of taking into the big screen. I don't know many things that start out on the small screen that transfer to the big screen and lead to success.
Here's why I think that they would do it. Okay. Talent availability. Right? You can get much bigger stars for a movie than you can for a TV show.
That's a fair point. So
I do think that, and I know, I mean, as far as I know, right? All these other like Game of Thrones things have all been prequels, right?
Yeah.
So there's been no proper sequel or like to like what happens when it's all over.
Right after Jon Snow went to the wall, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I do feel like creatively there probably is room there to take some cast members from Game of Thrones, but also put much bigger stars there because they only have to commit to a 2-hour movie rather than a 10-hour series.
Yeah, and this does. I know it's the article is saying a shift in strategy, maybe a shift in strategy in that you're making theatrical films off TV shows versus the other way around. But Zaslav has said since he took over for a few years now that he wants to expand the reach of these IPs, that they have in-house IP that they need to work harder on bringing out again and putting out again. And certainly we're seeing that as the Batman came through. Okay, here comes the Penguin. Oh, what's the Penguin? It's going to be connected to Batman Part 2. Here's Dune Prophecy. So clearly this seems to fit that strategy, at least, that they're going to create more content from their IP and try to see if they can conquer theatrically with this kind of stuff. So yes, maybe there's a shift in terms of the direction, but I think the idea of using IP and then putting it out as much in as many screens as possible seems to be still within their overall plan here from Zaslav. Or am I off on that?
I mean, it is what the overall plan
that he wants to expand the IP of his I'm sorry, expand the reach of the IP that he has and put it in more arenas for people to consume the IP and then find their way back to their stuff.
Sure. And Game of Thrones has been on the big screen before. They've released episodes.
Sure, but those are one-offs or whatever.
Yeah, it. I think again that it makes sense. Like an HBO would know. Like look at Sex and the City. Like I get that's the exception where it's like.
Yes.
Yeah, this was just a show that do you really expect people to pay for this? And then they did.
Right.
But the second one cratered, just like the third Star Trek movie cratered, right?
Right, Beyond. Yeah.
Another thing that went from TV to film. I get that the first movie or two may be successful, but ultimately, I just don't think you can sustain having like, we have Star Trek shows on the air, and here's Star Trek 3 or 4. Like it's
right. It's a great point. Micah says X-Files. Yeah, X-Files, but it didn't do that well at the box office.
That's another one. Yeah, the X-Files did okay, and then X-Files 2 cratered. There's nothing. I don't see a future for these properties, for these TV properties on the big screen. You may have one hit, but if you try to like do a whole like franchise or something of Game of Thrones, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, Downton Abbey is a valid one, Micah, but of course that budget is real low. They're not spending a lot of money on those actors.
That's driven.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a different situation. That being said, I mean, and it's interesting because the complaint was in this season they cut the season down from 10 to 8 episodes, and we didn't see the final battle that the whole season seemed to be building towards, and that's being pushed to the third season. So if it goes theatrical, maybe you think they'll spend more money to show the massive scope of these battles and dragons. So maybe there's a payoff in that you go with a bigger screen. You'll have a bigger budget, and it'll be a more satisfying end result, possibly.
I just think times are different from when Sex and the City, the movie, came out.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Tighter.
Yeah. Budgets are tighter. You're absolutely right.
For people just spending money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the box office was way down this weekend.
Yeah.
Down all month. It was just like everything. People aren't going as much.
Yeah.
You can't count on those kinds of numbers.
Even I'm not going as much as I used to, and that's a shame. I mean, I feel bad about that, but that's the way life is. Okay, let's move on to something else here. Jeff, this is kind of a big deal. There's a Cliffhanger reboot here Sylvester
No
Stallone.
Stallone. No Stallone.
No Stallone. No
No
Stallone.
Stallone. No problem. I don't know about that. We gotta get the energy up to date, baby.
All right, as someone who's not the biggest Cliffhanger fan, I was excited though for Stallone to come back. This was going to be directed by Rick Roman-Waugh, who I interviewed a few months ago for a couple for his Kandahar film, and it was going to be a script by Mark Bianculli. But this is a completely different film now. As Jeff said, Stallone has been ejected from this thing. Lily James is the lead. Pierce Brosnan playing her father. And Jean Collet-Serra will be directing this film. And the new script is based on a story by Anna Lily Amirpour. And Brosnan will be playing a seasoned mountaineer, Ray Cooper, who operates a luxury chalet in the Dolomites with his daughter, Sydney. That's who Lily James is playing. During a weekend trip with a billionaire son, they are targeted by a gang of kidnappers. Ray's daughter will be haunted by a past climbing accident, witnesses the attack, and escapes. To save her family, she must confront her fears and fight for survival. This is being called a father and daughter Die Hard. So what are your thoughts when you hear this and that Stallone is out on this?
If it's a father died or Die Hard, why not call it Die Hard? Why not remake Die Hard? Like, why do we need Cliffhanger? It's almost like they're just licensing the title, or like because it's in the mountains,
right?
Or because it originated as a Cliffhanger. I mean, without Stallone, this isn't fucking Cliffhanger. It can be a remake of Cliffhanger if that's what we want to call it,
right?
But like, I don't know why. I just don't understand. Like, why not just call it something else? I don't know. I mean, what is that? But look at Prey. Prey has nothing to do with it. Has the Predator in there, but it isn't necessarily like, anybody from those Prey movies or Alien. Anybody from the Alien movies. Can't Cliffhanger exist without Stallone, or does it have to necessarily have Stallone, do you think? No, I mean, it can exist without Stallone. Who has even seen, like of the 18-year-olds today, who has seen Cliffhanger?
Right.
So I get it, why you'd move on. He's probably expensive too.
Yeah.
He's a lot more expensive than Pierce Brosnan.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say this, and maybe I'm going to get in trouble for this. And this is a picture of Lily James here training, and apparently she spent months training, getting ready. This looks fantastic. This looks awesome. I love this idea. And I'll tell you why, because I didn't like the first one. I thought the first one was super cheesy and is one of the worst Stallone vehicles after you get past the opening scene. The opening scene is awesome. But the rest of the film, John Lithgow is not intimidating as a villain in any way, shape, or form. No offense to John Lithgow, who I love as an actor. But I never bought it. It was so cheesy and mustache twirling. And yeah, but I know there's a strong fascination and love for it. This feels like the studio looked at this and was like, we could actually do something better. We don't have to go this route with Stallone and be hamstrung by what Stallone wants. We're going to go and create something else, a father-daughter thing. You bring back Pierce Brosnan, who people always love, and then you bring in Lily James, who is always up for these different types of roles. Like she just played Pamela Anderson. She likes to challenge herself. And so I like this idea. This now gets me excited. And I like Jean Collet-Serra as a director overall. I think he's done a good job in the majority of his films. So this does get me excited to see what better result might be here, aside from the Stallone quips and the Stallone moments. And look, he's almost 80, bud. I mean, I don't. Do I trust him climbing a mountain? I don't know, man.
No, he's busy with Tulsa King or whatever.
Exactly.
Living those Tulsa King dreams. Lily James, I think that she's a really talented actress. Like, she blew me away with her Pamela Anderson. Really, she impressed the hell out of me. So I'm down to see what she can do up there. Like you said, that photo, she looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Jama's a nice get for this movie.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, we're gonna see if Carry On is good. Certainly, he took it on the chin with Black Adam, but I liked Jungle Cruise. I thought Commuter, Shallows, Run All Night. Yeah.
John.
What? No? What's wrong? Carry On's not going to be good. Oh, you already saw it? Okay. Well, then he needs this more than ever then if it's 2 misses in a row, bro. So, I mean, I think this feels like it would be a good thing for him. So, I like the idea, man. It could be fun. And Pierce is always good in an action film, man. I rarely seen a bad Pierce Brosnan action movie. Even that earthquake one or a volcano one was all right. Dante's Peak.
I'm down. I just, I whatever. I don't care. I don't care enough about Cliffhanger.
Yeah, this was 18 months ago. Oh, Mild Medic says, okay. That's a different situation, Mild Mannered Comic Nerd, because one, it's on TV. Two, he's playing a serial killer. So there was more for John Lithgow to play. When you watch Cliffhanger, it's a very surface, one-dimensional villain he's playing. There's not a lot of levels to that villain. And I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say there's a movie out with John Lithgow where he plays a villainous character, and he's excellent in that movie. So maybe I should amend my statement. I don't think he was a good action movie villain. I think he is a good villain, but you've got to right to his strengths as an actor, in my opinion. So that's what I'll say. All right, so that's what you got to say on that. So let's move on here, Jeff, to our next story. The Lego movie. Let's talk about this. So this broke as well earlier today. The Lego Group, under its deal with Universal Pictures, is making three live-action movies with directors Jake Kasdan, recently of Welcome to Jumanji fame, Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame, and Attack the Block's Joe Cornish. The plots of all the Untitled 3 movies are under wraps. Kasdan is directing off a script by Andrew Mogul and Jared Paul, based on an original idea from Matt Miter and Kevin Burrows. Patty Jenkins' project is from a script she wrote with former DC Entertainment president Jeff Johns. Holy God. And Joe Cornish's Toy Brick movie, he is rewriting from a draft by Heather Ann Campbell, which was off for treatment by Simon Rich. So I don't understand the logic here, Jeff. So walk me through it. You know, I'm a Lego guy. I love Legos. I know building Legos on the internet is a big deal. I know there's a Lego show hosted by what's his face there, Will Arnett. So I know Legos are a big deal, but movie-wise, they haven't been successful since the first Lego movie overall. Even the Batman Lego movie kind of underperformed. So why are we going live action with Lego movies? I don't understand the logic here. You tell me.
Wait, what? Why are we going live action?
With Lego movie. Why are we doing a live action, 3 live action Lego movies? What's the point of that?
Are they live action? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Are they live action?
3 live action movies. Yes.
I thought they were animated.
No. The first line exclusive. The Lego Group, under its deal with Universal Pictures, is making 3 live action movies with directors Jake Kasdan, Patty Jenkins, and Joe Cornish. Live action, Jeff. Look it up, please. Check my work.
I don't get it. I don't get it either then. I mean,
okay.
What is Lego bringing to the table if not Legos?
Exactly. This is what I'm getting at. I'm going to bring this up so that Jeff can check my work here. Here it is. The headline literally says Jake Kasdan, Patty Jenkins, and Jake Cornish sent to helm live action Lego movies for Universal. So just making it clear, I am not making that up or misstating it. So
I guess I don't even know what that means.
Live action. It means to be real people
playing Legos. Like, are they going to have yellow heads? Like, I don't understand.
What's the logic here?
I don't understand what it could possibly be.
I don't know either. But just a reminder, Jeff.
This is what it's come to for Patty Jenkins.
Animation is for everyone, Jeff. Just a reminder.
It's animator. I've seen you in your fucking 1 million comments in the chat. You can fucking relax over there, okay, buddy? I watched an animated movie last night. It was an animated porn. Thanks.
Oh, hello. I just don't understand the logic of a live action Lego movie. I mean, most of the Lego movies are simulating live action. That's kind of the point. So to go in reverse, what is the novelty of going in reverse? Will everybody be like, will they be brickheads? What blockheads? What will be the situation here? Will they be wearing some sort of outfits that are simulating Lego type of appearances? Is it going to be a Lego?
Bro, these movies will never get made.
You think so?
Come on. All these movies this week are not getting made.
I mean, this is massive, dude. Jake Kasdan, Patty Jenkins, and Joe Cornish. You think they're just going to toss that out? That's a massive haul for directors to put them in this situation, man.
I think after what's it fucking called? Red One opens. Jake, they're not going to be in a rush to give Jake Kasdan $100 million to direct anything.
Well, that may be why he signed this deal. I'm sure he's seen the final cuts of that movie, his own movie. And certainly Patty's coming off of that Wonder Woman 3 Rogue Squadron, Wonder Woman 2 Rogue Squadron situation, then Wonder Woman 3 situation as well. So, and I don't know where Joe Cornish is right now in terms of his status in Hollywood.
Hasn't been around since like the Kid Who Would Be King.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, come on. Like,
yeah.
what do you want me to say here? You only say.
I want you to say what your opinion is. You think it won't? Yeah, Kid Who Would Be King. That was 5 years ago, for God's sakes.
Yeah. They just announced Jumanji 3 with Jake Kasdan too. So
yeah. Do you think he's locking those down because he knows that Red One is not going to do well and it's going to be vilified? Do you think he's locking these down?
Classic, get the jobs while you can.
Yeah. I didn't like that second Jumanji, so I don't know what there is to explore in a third one. But hey, and The Rock needs some hits too, so maybe that's why.
There's like another Ninja Go movie. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, another Ninjago is coming. Plus, I mean, the Pharrell Williams Piece by Piece that didn't do well in the box office, even though it had 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. So these films have not done well past the first Lego movie. Have not done well at the same level that the first Lego movie did. So I don't understand the logic in going live action now. It's a weird decision. Weird decision on so many levels. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Slick Insider. Is Rogue Squadron not happening? Did we all not know that already? What's wrong with you guys?
I just don't understand. Like, Legos are something I played with as a kid, and kids will always play with. And I don't understand why there needs to be a theatrical movie. This is like a Nickelodeon series. This is a Nickelodeon series.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking. That's what I don't understand, the live action aspect of it all. I don't understand the point of it. I don't understand where they're going to go with that.
I understand a lot of things happening.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, like a lot of things we're going to talk about today.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into this one then. How about this validation for Jeff Sneider here? A new English language Squid Game series is in the works at Netflix with David Fincher coming on to develop it. This was supposedly a exclusive from Deadline. The insiders say the Squid Game series is likely the project Fincher commits his time to in 2025. This would mark the first Squid Game scripted series offshoot, because remember, there's that reality show. And of course, Fincher's been working with Netflix with House of Cards, with Mindhunter, with Love, Death, and Robots, and of course, The Killer. So now, for those who don't know, back in April of last year, Jeff Sneider broke that story on the hot mic that Fincher was working on an American version of Squid Game. Some people are, shall I say, massaging the details by saying it's a series rather than a movie. Therefore, it is new news. What are your thoughts on this, Jeff? How do you feel about this?
I'm pumped for it. I mean, I saw that Squid Game trailer today, and I think it looks great.
Yes, Squid Game 2 Series 2 trailer's out, yes.
And I understand why you would remake this for a U.S. audience, because, I mean, sadly, I do think it'll be even bigger than the Korean version.
Yeah.
It'll it'll just be huge.
I mean, possibly. It depends on the cast. It might bomb. You don't know.
A lot of people out there who would have watched Squid Game if it wasn't, either dubbed or subtitled or, whatever their setting is.
Sure, but there's also a pushback on Americanized versions of foreign projects, right? I mean, people have an issue with that too and might not watch. And show me the view numbers on The Killer. I mean, I love Fincher to pieces as an artist, but is he getting eyes on his projects as strongly as he did before? I don't know. So it's a good question to wonder if it'll be bigger than the Korean version views wise,
I mean, depending on who they get to star, it will.
Yeah. I think that's super important.
Yeah. But I'm fine with it. And again, I don't know that it's necessarily a remake or if it is, in fact, a follow-up. That the winner of whoever wins season 2 of Squid Game, right? Are they going to interact with, maybe Squid Game America ends after 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Episodes 6 through 10. It's like the American winner meeting the other international winners. Like, but Fincher's going to obviously do something different and put his own stamp on things. He's not just going to remake it.
Well, he did The Game, right? In his past. So he has experience doing these kinds of things, so it would be very possible that he could put his own twist on it. That from an American point of view.
Twist on Dragon Tattoo,
huh?
Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah,
he put his own twist on that. So
he did. It certainly is a good movie, no doubt.
It's not one of my favorites, but
I didn't like the ending because the ending It wasn't as active as you needed the ending to be. But yeah, I like this idea. I like him coming to be a part of it and where it's going to go. And maybe since the game, he's had other ideas that he would have liked to have slid into a sequel for the game. And maybe that's going to be some of the impetus here we see in his version.
I mean, if you're going to do this, right?
Oh my God.
If you're gonna do this, John.
Oh Jesus.
Then why not get David Fincher? Like, he's the best that you're gonna get. So
okay. What are you doing with that?
I mean, be thankful that he said yes.
Yeah, I guess. But look, you followed this story from April of last year, so why now? Why all of a sudden now is there something else that was going to happen and it's kind of not panned out? Why is Fincher doing this now?
This is my long legs costume tonight. Yeah. Why is Fincher doing this now? I think Fincher likes working with Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what his next movie is supposed to be. And Deadline left themselves an out by saying, oh, he may still sneak a movie in.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be Bitterroot, right? That Western we've talked about before.
Right.
And I, that wouldn't surprise me either, because this still does feel like a ways off. I don't think that you're gonna hear much more about this until after like Squid Game is over.
So you mean like after this season?
No, I mean Squid Game. Like, this is season 2 coming up in December.
Right.
I'm saying after season 3, but I think season 3, according to Korean media.
Yeah.
Seasons 2 and 3 were shot at the same time. They were shot back to back.
Okay.
I think personally that Squid Game is going to wrap up next summer. Now, then again, Stranger Things is also supposed to come out next summer. So it's like, would they really drop both of those things in one summer? Even if they're in different quarters. I don't know.
Good question.
Even still, I think season 3, you wouldn't wait 3 years, right? Right. Season 1 and season 2 of 3 years. I think it would be ready next year, same time. So.
Interesting. Okay. All right. We shall see for sure on that one.
So if Fincher starts his shit, I don't think he starts shooting until 2026, probably.
Okay.
And then you'd see it around 2027, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well, I like it. So we'll keep tabs on it. We'll see what happens. You're right. The cast is going to matter and things can change. We will see. What about, we got nothing more to say. Got another story to jump into.
Did I say something about animation today, guys? Did I say something about animation?
Where?
Today on the episode. I don't think I did. So Fanimator, just shut the fuck up or just leave my chat room. Okay. Understand?
Fanimator, please stop. Don't make me block you, Fanimator, because I will. Unfortunately, I will.
You just come into my chat saying Jeff this, Jeff that. Fuck off.
Come on. Have some respect, Fanimator. Let's calm it down, buddy. All right, let's move on here. Let's move on to this last story before we hit a break here, Jeff. Kelly Macdonald has been cast in Lanterns, Boardwalk Empire, and No Country for Old Men alumna. Kelly Macdonald is returning to HBO as a series regular opposite Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre in Lanterns. She will play Sheriff Carey, a no-nonsense woman deeply devoted to her family and close-knit town. Her resilience, shaped by a complex past that's hardened her resolve, anchors her when the community's secrets begin to surface. The community secrets? What show are we telling here, Jeff? This is on land. And of course, this is supposed to be a True Detective type of situation here. So maybe that's part of it. She's also going to be seen opposite Damon Lewis in the British comedy horror film The Radleys, and will be seen in a Netflix crime thriller Department Q, the series coming soon. So do you like this? I know you wrote this about this in your insider newsletter. What are your thoughts on this?
I think she's a great actress, and it would have been fun to see her to have seen her and Brolin shake it up after No Country for Old Men, right?
Back together again.
So instead, it's Kyle Chandler, but so it's always a lady sheriff now in these towns. A lot of lady sheriffs, and I think she's good casting. Like, she's obviously tough. She has, integrity.
Yes.
And I can see her being elected to such a post. So it fits. And she'll have a little relationship, I think, with Kyle Chandler's character.
Yeah, it seems like even though she's devoted to her family, it seems like she's going to have a little bit of a relationship here with Kyle Chandler, Jeff. So that's an interesting development. But I like it. I mean, she's such a strong actress. I loved Boardwalk Empire. That's a series a lot of people don't give enough weight to, and so I like the idea that she's coming back. And there's probably not a few months that go by where I don't watch No Country for Old Men over again. It's
Really?
such a great show. Oh, I love that movie to pieces. And I think it grows on you more as you get older. Like there's more to take from it as you get older, which makes that such a fantastic film. So her performance in that film, people seem to overlook it, but she is so Southern. It's amazing. So I love that she's
because it's like, she broke out in Train Spotting.
Yeah, but that was like, that was a small part in that movie.
Yeah, but she's like a lightning bolt in that. I mean, that whole movie's like a fucking lightning bolt.
Yes.
But like the fact that you say like she really does pass for like that Southern, like she couldn't be further from that.
Yeah, as a Scottish actress. Yeah, I know. That's what I find so fascinating about her work. Having grown up in the South, the character she's playing, the accent, the mannerisms, all of that, she nails it. It's so believable. Her scene there at the end with Javier Bardem is fucking chilling, man, and heartbreaking. So yeah, I love that she's getting a part of this. And Boardwalk Empire, she's so good.
That's the thing. HBO always does right by its stars.
Yeah,
and it has been, maybe a rough decade or whatever since that show. Like she's worked steadily. She's done a lot, but none of it's really been that sticky.
Yeah,
like I wrote, and that's what I think is a great get for her.
Yeah. Does this give you more faith in the show that it's casting actors like this in these roles? Like Kyle kind of works out here.
No, I think it is. I think the fact that Aaron Pierre said yes speaks volumes.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, right. Yeah. She's just been doing kind of British stuff. Yeah. I mean, I tried that Girl Haji series. It was okay. Didn't keep my attention though. So anyway, all right, let's take a break, buddy. On the other side, let's get into some other stuff going on in the world of entertainment right after this. All right, put on your tiaras, people. Put down your sex whips and put on your tiaras here, because we are moving into this area here. Wicked. We are days away from Wicked coming out in movie theaters, Jeff. This is supposedly going to be the Christmas hit of the season. And you've got Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. Of course, there was some drama there with Cynthia Erivo and some of her issues with some of the stuff. But we're getting first reactions for the movie. Variety's Katsy Stevens hailed Wicked as a, quote, masterpiece. There's that word again, adding that Ariana Grande makes Glinda sparkle. Simon Thompson called it an absolutely stunning vision, leads Erivo and Grande knock it out of the park. Variety's Jazz Tanguay, I'm sure if I pronounced that wrong, Jazz, I apologize, said John M. Chu, Cynthia Erivo, and Ariana Grande have gifted us a musical masterpiece that is much more than we could have ever expected. Drew Taylor, friend of the show, said Wicked is solid, sumptuously realized, occasionally quite moving. Both leads are amazing, but it also falls into some of the traps of the Disney live-action remakes that diminishes its power. My buddy Scott Menzel said Wicked is a cinematic spectacle that serves as one of the very best big screen adaptations of a Broadway musical ever. John M. Chu perfectly captures the magic of the Broadway show. Ariana and Cynthia completely knock it out of the park here. So, and then IndieWire's critic also gave it a lot of love as well. So,
did anybody not give it love, John?
I didn't see, except for maybe Drew, who said it was slightly overlong and a bit noisy and over-designed. No one else seemed to have a negative comment that I saw about Wicked.
Amazing. I guess this will be the best movie ever made since everybody loved it. It's not like that happens every time.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing, right? Because I reached out to a few of my friends who are critics in Los Angeles. None of them got an invite to this curated screening.
They don't like it anymore. Critics are too honest, too truthful.
Is that what it was? Because but Simon's no wallflower. Drew's no wallflower when he wants to be. So I don't know. These seem to be a mixture of critics and critics from notable sites. So except for, of course, DC Film Girl, that seems to be a little biased there with that handle. But What do you wanted me to put this in here? You usually don't like first reaction. So what are your thoughts?
I'm ready to talk about it.
Go ahead.
You know, I love Simon. You love Scott.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that
we both love Drew. And we both love Drew.
So. Right, of course. I'm not saying that they are easy lays, but they are part of the easy lay crowd. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
To deny this is to deny reality, essentially.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's like, if you don't want to be part of the easy lay crowd, don't go to the easy lay crowd screenings. Right? Don't offer your opinion. I mean, this is the thing. And I'm gonna, you know, I saw something that our dear friend, one of my dear friends, Roxy Stryer, was saying to me.
Yeah, what's she saying?
On Instagram, where it's like, you know, and I get that she's an actress, so maybe it's a little bit different for her, but she's like, you know, I only talk about the movies I like. I don't talk about the movies I don't like, and that's why I don't call myself a critic, right? Yeah. I call myself a reviewer, and it's like, okay, that's fine, but you know what? Should we be in the same room? Should we be in the same press screening room? Like, I'm a critic. I'm there for the audience to tell the audience whether this is a good movie or bad movie, and should they spend their time on it.
Wait! I gotta stop you there. You are the first person to say you are not a critic. Now you were saying you are a critic.
I mean, I perform the functions of a critic, and I'm obviously, whether I'm a critic or not, I'm more honest than all of them.
I'm saying you can't play it both ways. Christian does the same thing. You guys cannot play it both ways. You can't play critic when it's convenient and not critic when it's convenient. If you're a fucking critic, own it. You're a fucking critic.
I write criticism. At least I write reviews.
I know you do.
And there's people who call themselves critics and they don't actually write anything. They just, I mean, having an opinion and saying that opinion out loud, does that make you a critic? Makes you an opinionist. I
think it depends on how, because you can be just as smart talking about a movie as anyone writing about a movie. It just depends on how.
I don't believe that it's necessarily criticism. I mean, what Roger Ebert and Siskel did on that television, that was entertainment, right? Criticism was for their papers.
Right. Fair point. You would read more in-depth criticism in their article.
Complicated conversation as far as that stuff goes, but I you know, and Roxy said that, and I respect that, and I guess that she's an influencer, and we have different jobs. Yeah. But yeah, I'm there for the audience, and just telling people about movies that you like, I guess, that's a service, right? Yeah. You're turning people on, you're sharing the things that excite you, and that's awesome, right? That's what influencers do. But it's not the same thing fundamentally. Yeah. And I feel like, listen. Is Drew Taylor a critic? Drew Taylor's a reporter. Is Simon a critic? Is Kathy Stevens is a reporter. She's not a critic. So let's wait to hear what Owen Gleiberman says at Variety. These people, their access for interviews, for junkets, for all this stuff depends on them liking the movie. If they don't like the movie, do you think that they're going to get the interview if they come out and say, "Oh, Wicked, huge piece of shit. Can't wait to interview Cynthia Erivo on Monday"? Do you think that's how it fucking works? It doesn't. Yeah. So no matter how much you like the movie, right, by simply attending that screening and saying yes and tweeting out your fucking opinion, whether it's honest or not, I don't give a fuck. Okay. You're suspect. Okay. And that's the whole thing of journalism, about perception. Yeah. So I'm sorry. There's nothing against, Simon's still a friend. I adore Simon. Yeah. Do I put a lot of faith in his early bird opinion, when he has to do an interview for the junket next week? I don't. I'm sorry. If that makes me a bad friend, I'm sorry. I don't mean to call him out, but
I think it's fair to question it, especially if it's connected to a junket, because I think you're right. Not a lot of critics are going to bash a movie and then they're going to let you show up at the junket, right? That doesn't happen. And so I get it. This is a curated screening because only certain outlets or certain writers or certain accounts or certain people are going to be allowed to be part of the junket. And this goes back to what The Wrap wrote about a week or two ago, about how studios are absolutely leaning towards influencers over critics, wanting to give influencers early access to their movies so the influencers can go and create these videos online that promote visibility of the film, get people into the box office or buy tickets. And by the time the reviews come out, skewering that movie, it's too late. The studio's made its money off the early reaction, off the early purchases of tickets from the people influenced by the influencer. So
just once, John, don't you want to see somebody come out of these screenings being like, well, that fucking sucked?
Yes.
I would just love one person, one time to do that. Because you know what? Most movies aren't that good. But every movie seems to be a fucking masterpiece when you show it to the same 12 people. So, yes, it may be great. And all these people may be totally 100% honest and like, totally right. This could be the greatest movie ever. But until they show it to a skeptic, a doubter, someone who thinks it looks bad, it means nothing to me.
Yeah, that'll be me. Because I have not liked any of these trailers. I have questions about Ariana Grande as an actress. I think Cynthia might be miscast. And I love musicals, but for whatever reason, this one is just not grabbing me in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going in with my arms folded. Two of my gay best friends are telling me that I'm already biased towards the movie walking into the theater. And that may be true, but I'm always open to have my mind changed. So I'm pretty skeptical about whether I'm going to like this movie or not. Right. But I'm skeptical about a lot of films. I'm skeptical about Gladiator 2 before I go see it in next week. So
it's just all about perception. They think the studios have a perception. Jeff Sneider hates movies, or something like that. So why would we invite this movie? He's just going to hate it. Well, if it's good, I'll love it.
Yeah,
if it's good, if it's actually good, I'll love it. Or it could be good to these critics who seem to have no taste and no standards. I don't know what else you want me to say. Yeah. Every time it's the same thing. Like, are we insane? It literally, it's a pattern. It's the same thing every time. Huge high Rotten Tomatoes score. Movie screening for more critics. Screening for more. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go up.
Yeah, no, it rarely goes up.
It doesn't go up when you show it to more people. It starts at the top and goes down the more people you show it to.
Yeah.
I mean, don't these people question why am I here? It's not, maybe you're like, hey, I'm fair and square. I'm going to call it like I see it. But you are there because they perceive you to be an easy lay.
Well, look, let's talk about this in a bigger picture type of thing. So let's have the conversation, because clearly, Jeff, I think you're right to a degree, but I think we have to be clear. Don't let these critics off the hook the way you're kind of doing. They know why they're there. They know what their responsibilities are. They know that they want to keep their jobs and making the money that they're making. Now, I don't know Scott's situation, because Scott is independent outlet with We Live Entertainment. It's his own thing. So I don't know where he's at on that. But like IndieWire, Variety, all these places, they're clearly, their critics are getting paid to do exactly what they're doing, is to show up, talk about it, and then go and do the junket. So I think they make the deal in their own minds. I'm making the deal, right? And then they're going to go in. So they're part of it. And they understand their way that they're part of it. So it's part of the system. And look, nowadays, I'd love to stand there with you and berate, but nowadays, man, when we just seen Fandom and Screen Junkies lay off a bunch of people, and we've seen so many of our friends get laid off, I get it. People want to keep their jobs however they can. It doesn't mean, though, that I have to put a lot of stock in your opinion on these things, because I understand why you're doing it. And you and I uniquely are in the inside of this bubble. A lot of people reading or watching are not. So I think that's where we get upset about it, and they might not think twice about it,
I just look at someone like Perry.
Okay.
Perry is moderating screenings every night of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing all kinds of movies.
Sure.
You know what movie she hasn't done anything for this season?
What's that?
Saturday Night, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
Because she's shit all over it. Right?
Yeah.
She didn't like the movie, which is fine.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
entitled to her opinion.
Yeah.
But it's like, if she didn't like, movie B and movie C and movie D, she wouldn't get those either. And so people are incentivized to like movies more. And I get it. Why would you waste time, shit talking movies, right? Let's just tell people what excites us and share that joy with them.
Right.
But again, these are different things.
Well,
different jobs, different things.
Well, there's also ambition, isn't there? And it's like, well, the more before we were laid off at Collider, we had that guy who was second in command, quote unquote. And he told us we need to stop saying negative things about movies, negative things about actors, directors. We need to be more positive. The studios don't want to work with us if we're negative. And so that was the beginning of that mentality, that feeling, that vibe, that energy. And now we're seeing it in a lot of places. We're seeing news articles about that being the situation. So you do have to wonder how many people in this business are legitimately in this business to criticize movies, and how many people in this business to satisfy their own egos and move up and want to host panels at Hall H and want to make six figures for Penske Media. And so it all gets mixed up. It all gets jumbled together. And there's no longer those critics. Really, there aren't that many critics that are like, I don't fucking want to work for the man. I want to write my honest belief about everything, and I don't want to be influenced by anybody, nor do I need to worry about what I write about, because it could affect what director might want to come to be interviewed by my outlet, or what actor might want to become, or what studios want to work with my outlet. Like those things that are real. And I've heard from a couple of people who have an editor who does not want them to write anything negative about anything. And then when they do write, their editor comes after them, and it's nonsense. So sometimes it's all the way from the top, Jeff, that they're being told not to write negative stuff.
I get it. We all have to, cover our ass, and we're all trying to just pay the bills. But I just, if you're a studio and you're asking me to believe the same group of people, the same group of people, at every movie who come out with effusive praise, why am I believing these people? Why? Because they got a job someplace recognizable. Like, I don't understand it. They don't have credibility in my book. I know the critics that have that credibility in my book. And they got invited to the early bird screenings. So I don't care if it really sounds like sour grapes, right? This is the strategy. It's not about the critics. This is about the strategy that the studios have chosen.
Right.
Okay? And when you have the goods, you'll show it to me early. They do.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that's what's so frustrating, because some of these critics want to get early access, and then want to be seen as legitimately honest critics. And that is not always the way it works. And some of these critics want to work with the studios and work on everything with the studios, get all the swag, host all the stuff, and then be seen as actually honest critics. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't work for a football team constantly and then claim you're going to be telling you the honest truth about the players and about the owner and about the coach. You're going to look the other way because you don't want to lose that cash cow that's coming in and making you money.
It's not an all the time thing, right? Because
right. No, of course.
Harry can point to that Saturday Night Review, right? I'm sure Drew can point to something that he hated, and Simon can point to something he hated. Scott Menzel can point to something he hated, and they can all point to something that they hated. The problem is they all hate, one or two things a year, right? Whereas I'm hating left and right.
Yeah.
I see everything, and there's a lot to hate.
Yeah. Well,
people have gotten how to write movies. I mean, I know how to fucking. There's just no payoff to some of these movies. The third act for these movies, it's just like people just gave up and shrugged their shoulders.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, brother. I like your analysis. I like reading your criticism. You're a quick writer, which is always fascinating to me, because I am not a quick writer. Bibiani is another one that I really respect as a critic. Bibbs has very strong points of views and breaks things down and analyzes them. When McWeeny used to do it, I really loved McWeeney's criticism. He doesn't do it quite as often, but it's a dying breed. You guys are a dying breed. The blurring of the lines between influencer and critic has never been blurrier. And I agree, there needs to be a difference between critic and reviewer and influencer, because I think Roxy is a reviewer. Bibiani is a critic, right? I think there's differences here. And then someone like someone's got a big TikTok, that guy Straw Hat. Straw Hat is a influencer, right? Yeah. And he signed the big deal. And I like Straw Hat. I love Straw Hat. He's a good guy. Very nice to me always when I see him. But he got paid. He knew exactly. He found a niche. He worked it. And as a black man in film review, film analysis, it's a rarity. He worked it, got himself this bag.
Yes. But winning money and winning jobs and winning all this shit, getting all this, it doesn't get my respect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's the difference, right? The critics are a dying breed. They're on a smaller and smaller island every year. And there's not that many coming up through the system that aren't being wooed by the studio, aren't being influenced by the swag, influenced by the access to screenings. I always bristled at people who said I was being influenced when they send me stuff, because I'm never influenced by that shit. And so they've stopped sending me stuff, because I've actually started talking, I've been talking honestly about these movies when I went out on my own. And that's when they stopped sending me stuff. So fuck them. I don't care. And I'm not trying to get a 6-figure job at Penske Media either. I don't care. I want to stay independent for as long as possible. And yeah, I don't have that much money in my bank account or whatever, but I'm doing what I want to do and I like it. I don't like being under the, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't say that about that director. I fucking hate that, man. So yeah.
I mean, ditto. I do think that these writers do have to keep in mind, like, sometimes FYC money. And they can't just like shit on it out of the gate because then the studio won't advertise. It's just
right.
I don't know. I think the whole thing is more insidious than people even know. Like when you're on the inside of it.
Yeah. That's why I tell people all the time, don't hero worship, don't celebrity worship, no matter what level it's other than Tom Cruise, obviously, but no matter what level you're at, don't do that because you don't know what these people are doing behind the scenes to get into the positions that they're in. And you don't know the way that these people who you love so much, who smile all the time and all happy, you don't know the shit they're saying about other people in this business in order for themselves to move up to be in that position. So a lot of the times behind the scenes, it's a way dirtier business than you all think. All your favorite pundits have done some shitty things in the past for the most part. I would say almost all your pundits that you love so much, almost all, not all, have done some shitty things to people in the past and behind the scenes. So just throwing that out from my own personal experience and what I've seen and experienced and heard. So, all right. Geez, that was a long conversation, but it was 20 minutes. Let's move on to some other stuff here and talk about what else we got going on. And thanks for everybody sending in Streamlabs Super Chats. Please keep sending those in. We're going to answer them a little bit later on in the show. Brother, what are your thoughts? Speaking of some interesting people who kind of march to their own drum, Armie Hammer is back, brother. He is back acting. What are your thoughts on this? He hasn't acted in more than 3 years following the sexual assault allegations from 2021, but he is back to be, not star, but be in a film that is a Western called Frontier Crucible. Sorry, this one is starring Thomas Jane. It's produced by Bone Tomahawk and Drag Across Concrete producer Dallas Saulnier. The film is set to get underway in next month in Monument Valley in Prescott, Arizona. Monument Valley is a very iconic place for Westerns. So what are your thoughts on this? He's coming back. He tweeted out a picture of himself on this, and he's come back with a podcast, Armie Hammer Time podcast with Tom Arnold as his first guest. So what do we think about this as you hold the whip? And
I just wanted to thank Armie Hammer for sending over this box, his box of old sex toys. He had to get rid of them. And he knew just where to send them. So thank you.
Oh my God. Susan, no. Susan, no. Bad Susan. But
Susan was right. But Bibbs does have a hog on him.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
I say good for Armie Hammer. I think I like Armie Hammer as an actor.
Yeah.
If this is what he has to do to work his way back in, right? I don't think he's like a threat to people, on set.
Let's hope not.
It's nice to see Dallas extend a hand because he's very anti-cancel culture and everything like that.
Yeah, no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, not a huge surprise that he ended up being the producer of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be working with Thomas Jane, who I guess is, the Punisher and probably a Republican, but whatever.
Maybe. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He will be playing one of the key roles in Frontier Crucible. Yeah. But this is the way it is, isn't it? And I always, I always look a little side eye at this as well. We just talked about looking side eye at some of these first reactions for movies. I look side eye at this as well. If you get in trouble and get these sexual assault allegations, and the way you're coming back is to come back under a right-wing approach to movies, then you're almost tacitly admitting that you did what you did. Instead of, doing the work, working your way slowly back.
Be a guy who, well, first of all, what is slow, right? He hasn't done a movie in 3 years.
Right.
I mean, isn't that what he's been doing these last 3 years? Being in therapy and getting that help?
Has he been doing that? I haven't been monitoring him if he's actually been doing it. I'd like to see a list of the appointments and how many of them he's been going to, and then maybe I might have a different point of view. But don't you want to okay, look, yes, I did these things. I made a mistake. I'm learning. I'm growing. And I'm going to keep applying. I'm going to keep, calling up these directors, asking if they'll give me a small role in their movies. or something like that. Because when you go this route, too, this is direct to DVD route. And there's not many people who climb out of the direct to DVD route who jump back over into A-list movies. So I think it's a tough situation, because the next thing you know, he's going to be starring with Gina Carano in a movie, dude. I mean, that's not how you want to build yourself back up.
It's not.
I'm with you. He's a good fucking actor.
Right. Well, the question is, it's like, well, he just wants to work.
Yeah.
Right. And will anybody have him back? And it sounds like the studios won't. And so this is his only avenue right now. So I don't know what else he's supposed to do. Like, keep waiting for that opportunity to, like, be in Shotgun Wedding 2 again, or, you know.
I mean, how I feel like he could call up Guy Ritchie after Man from U.N.C.L.E. Don't you think?
Definitely. So it's going to need to be like a director who lends him a hand, and
that's what I feel like. And especially because Guy doesn't. I don't think Guy is like, oh no, only an ultra liberal set. Not with some of the stuff he shoots and some of the stuff, the characters he profiles.
I mean, again, there's really not that many producers with like a profile like Dallas Sanye has. Yeah. So it's like, well, what if he wasn't a producer on this? What if it was just one of these AFM projects that was announced this week? There were literally 100 projects announced. Yeah. What if he just booked one, one of those that wasn't produced by Bonfire Legend? Are we talking about this differently?
Yeah.
So I feel like Dallas's involvement is just coloring everything, and that speaks to Dallas's whole like point and ethos, which like. Because I've had interactions with Dallas when like with the Lady Ballers thing, right? Because I was a big fan of I'd Fight. I put that on my top 10.
Right.
But I didn't care for Lady Ballers, or I don't think I saw it, but like I just didn't like. It looked like they were making fun of trans people, right?
Yes.
Making them the butt of the joke. And I said something to Dallas, and he was like, "Oh, you're just like gone woke, and you're like one of these."
Oh no! Oh no!
It's like, that's not true. But like I can still have two opinions, right? Like I can be against the woke shit and the cancel culture, but also feel like, because I'm a big trans rights guy. I called out fucking Jeff Wells' dead named Carla from Amelia Perez.
Oh yeah,
posted photos of her as a man to compare them, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. See, both sides do this, and that's the issue. Like, and it's hard to be in the middle. And I know I hate Trump, but it doesn't make me against the right. There's a difference. I'm against Trump. I'm not against the right. I think there have been good ideas that have come from the right. I like a healthy left and right being a part of our system. And of course, other parties eventually, yes.
More annoying on the left.
Yeah,
signaling, right?
I'm not against the death penalty. And so but I am pro-choice. So I have my own personal opinions on things. I swing back and forth depending on what the issue is in terms of being in the middle of this stuff.
Right.
And so when Dallas says something like that to you, he should respect your opinion instead of going, oh, you're gone woke. Because then you're just doing the same fucking thing that you claim the left is doing. So what? There's no.
And the left is being aggressive.
Exactly. It's stupid. The middle needs to come back. The middle in every arena, the middle needs a champion and a savior. I might be available to bring this all back and be as loud as the left and the right. We need a middle, Jeff.
There is no middle, and that's why I'm in no man's land, right? Because it's like, they want you to pick a side.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
There it is. I mean, shit. There it is.
It is fucking crazy.
Anyway, all right. Where are we at? Yeah, let's take another break, Jeff. And on the other side, we'll hit some trailers and talk about. Well, I mean, there's like 10 topics we had. We're not even going to get to.
What breaks are we taking?
We gotta take. Oh, you want to keep going? You want to go another topic?
You can take a break whenever you want. Buddy.
Okay, let's do it right now. And on the other side, we'll talk some more stuff like trailers and whatever you right after this. All right, Jeff. Are you okay? What's going on over there?
Looking at Nerds Engaged comments. Like, I know it's just a joke, but like, he didn't eat anybody. He didn't. Who did he take a bite at him? Please show me.
I don't know. I don't want to find out. I'll be honest with you. All right, let's have this conversation. Jeff, how big of a Tomb Raider fan are you? Are you a big Tomb Raider fan or kind of not so much? What are your thoughts here?
No, I don't give a fuck about Tomb Raider.
Well,
But
apparently, Sophie Turner and Lucy Boynton. I can't even bring up a picture for this right now, so I'm going to bring up the story. These are the two ladies who apparently are in the running for playing Lara Croft. Of course, Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones fame. Lucy Boynton I've seen in a number of things like Sing Street and that Ipcris File miniseries that she was a part of, and Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, with Rami Malek there. So this is apparently the two that they're choosing from here, Amazon MGM Studios, to be the lead for Phoebe Waller-Bridge's version of Tomb Raider. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? What do you think between the two actresses? Who would you want to see get it? What are your thoughts?
I could go outside right now and find two women I'd rather see as Tomb Raider.
Oh my God. Wow.
Sorry. These two would do absolutely nothing for me. Sophie Turner in particular.
Yeah, I have to say, Sophie is not the strongest actress. I tried watching that Anna series where she's the mom, and it was like, oof, there were moments where it was like, and so she was good in Game of Thrones, certainly got better in Game of Thrones. I think she's terrible in X-Men Dark Phoenix. So I don't think she's the right choice for Lara Croft.
No.
But I mean, she's sexy. She'll fill out the role, the outfit. And of course she can act. So you're kind of checking the boxes on this. But I think Lucy Boynton is a much, much better actress. I mean, she was great in Sing Street, as I said. If you guys haven't seen the Ipcris File miniseries, if you're into British super spy stuff, she was great in that. And she was good in Bohemian Rhapsody, but she's a strong, solid British actress. So it could be interesting. But she's also a smaller British, like in terms of height. So I don't know. It's an interesting decision to go either way because these two seem distinctly different. But if you're going for talent, I would go with Lucy. But if you're looking for a little bit more of the
thing. Here's the mistake that people are making.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is all about media literacy, right?
Go ahead.
It's not just these two.
Okay.
Right? They mentioned a couple of other actresses who just aren't testing.
It's a wish list of accomplished young actors for the role, and they include Sophie and Lucy, who are poised to test for the part. Yes.
Right. But Mackenzie Davis is on that list. She's just not going to test.
Right. And Emma Corrin as well.
Nor should she, and nor should they.
Right.
So I don't think this is the full list. I mean,
okay.
If I were them, and granted this actress is booking movies left and right now, but who is the star of this year's biggest indie movie?
I don't know. You tell me.
Biggest indie movie this summer was a movie called Long Legs.
Okay.
Micah Monroe would be a good Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
I mean, listen, there's a bunch of people, but it's definitely not Sophie Turner and Lucy Boynton. If those are your choices, don't even why even bother to make the series?
But didn't Micah just lock down something? Isn't she coming out?
Brides?
Oh, okay.
I mean, she has probably a bunch of those kinds of level of movies, but she doesn't really have anything big. And I don't think.
And the Rocks the Cradle remake, she's going to be in that.
Okay, no, you're right. That is a relatively big thing.
Yeah.
But no tent poles, no blockbusters.
Right.
And this is a kind of a blockbuster show, or at least it'll have the budget of one. But I don't know that it's necessarily right for her. I just think that she's ready to make that leap. And if I'm Amazon, I'm betting on that over someone like Sophie Turner, who may already made it with Game of Thrones, but hasn't done anything with it.
Right. That's a fair point. Okay. All right. Fine. So you're saying there's maybe someone else out there that might play the role.
I don't think it'll be one of those two. I'd be shocked if it was one of the two that tests. I think it could go. I think Mackenzie Davis would be a good choice.
I like Mackenzie. Yeah. But won't she have to dye her hair blonde to do it? Or red rather to do it? Am I wrong on that?
I have no idea. I mean,
okay.
Is it important? Is Lara Croft, does she have red hair? Is that
she's a redhead. Yeah.
I guess.
Jeff, she's a redhead, for fuck's sake. Come on, man. Get it right.
Is she really? Because I guess in most of the things it looked like she has auburn, in the video games, because I've used the graphics from Tomb Raider 1,000 times in my career writing about this fucking property. I don't even remember her with red hair. It feels like auburn chestnut.
Okay. Now you're getting into hues. Which I appreciate. All right, let's bring up this picture. I want to get your thoughts on this, Jeff. a friend of the show. No, he's not a friend of the show. We've never interviewed him or talked to him, or at least I haven't. Maybe you have in your travels around the world of entertainment. But Billy Zane is playing. Look at this Marlon Brando situation here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this picture. Jeff, this is insane. It's the first look of him in the film, from the film Waltzing with Brando. This is a Bill Fishman directed film. This is incredible how well he looks for the like Brando here as Vito Corleone. This film takes place between 69 and 74. Notes that it's, quote, the little known but absolutely true story of how Marlon Brando convinced the architect Bernard Bernie Judge that together they could build the first ecologically perfect retreat on one of Tahiti's tiny uninhabited islands. So an interesting synopsis for a movie, but your thoughts on Billy Zane looking like Marlon Brando as the Godfather there, man?
Dude looks amazing. It's like Brando's back from the dead.
Are you being a dick or are you being serious right now?
No, I'm being serious. He looks great. Like, looks just like him. I mean, it is uncanny.
Look at that. That's amazing. And you can see Billy Zane under the makeup, right? But you can see the facial structure, the eyes, the lips, and what have you. But it's
great makeup change, especially for what's probably a low budget indie movie.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be the closing film at the 2024 Torino Film Festival on November 30th. Wait, this festival's been going on for 42 years.
Taormina?
Yeah, the Torino. I didn't even heard of the Torino Film.
That's a big one.
Wow.
Yes, Naomi Scott, by the way, for Tomb Raider. I think that would be good as well.
No, after Smile 2? You think now's the time? Strike while the iron's hot. All right, let's move on to this other stuff. Let's move on to some trailers here, brother. We had 3 trailers dropped this week that I think we should talk about. Unstoppable, which is the true story on the one-legged wrestler from Arizona State University with Jennifer Lopez, Bobby Cannavale, and Joel Jerome as the star of this one. Queer with Daniel Craig from Luca Guadagnino, and Presence, the Steven Soderbergh one with Lucy Liu. So, Jeff, what are your thoughts on Unstoppable? Let's start there.
The best trailer of the 3.
Really? Oh, tell me why.
Yeah, I thought it was the best trailer of the 3.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen the movie, so like I know it's good.
Oh, you did? All right.
That kind of helps. Yeah, I saw it at TIFF. I really liked it. I thought Joel Jerome was excellent.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez, Bobby Cannavale were both really good. Pena, everybody. Just a great, inspirational, true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well told by like a longtime editor. So he's always got that top of mind. I feel like it doesn't drag. Yeah.
Well. Yeah, I thought the trailer. I thought it definitely looks like a Amazon Prime movie, so it has that energy to it. I'm not the biggest fan of J-Lo as an actress when she's not dialed in. She certainly looks like she's dialed in the trailer. So whatever she was accessing, whatever she was going through, this is something in the league with Out of Sight and Hustlers and some of the best work she's done. You can tell the energy, the strength, the vibe. I like Bobby Cannavale coming in here as maybe a slight antagonist to the whole situation.
Big time.
But Joel Jerome really stands out, man, from that trailer. Like, just looks.
He's a great actor. I mean, When They See Us, like, playing Corey Wise.
Yeah.
And he was really good in I'm a Virgo, too. The thing about Jennifer Lopez's performance in this, right? She's playing like a woman who's trapped in an abusive relationship or an abusive whatever.
Okay.
Is like the way that she tries to downplay Bobby Cannavale's behavior.
Yeah. Keep going.
Right?
Sorry about that.
And tries to like not let it touch the kids.
Right. To shield them. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because I'm sure it's, the position that a lot of abused women find themselves in. So sure. I think it's a more nuanced turn than it's just the mother of the athlete,
Right. There's more for her to do as because clearly in the trailer, you can tell she's struggling with paying the bills. He could have gone to Drexel and gotten his scholarship and not put financial strain on the family. But clearly he wants to prove something, and it's how that costs the family financially, maybe emotionally too. But then what the end result is, and how much of an inspiration he is by what you see in the end of the trailer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We'll see if it's well, Jeff said it's good. I'll see if it's good.
Yeah, Queer. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, go ahead, keep going. What do you say?
Queer, I thought looked okay. The trailer didn't blow me away. Jeff Wells called it one of the greatest trailers he's ever seen, which I had to laugh at. Yeah, I mean, it made me more interested in the movie.
Sure.
But it looks like a real trip.
Yeah. I mean, normally his movies come out and I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to see this one. But I feel the same way. Daniel Craig, a little bit, I think he's a good actor, but a little bit on the fringes of, am I believing what you're doing here? But certainly the energy is capturing the energy of the book when you're watching this trailer. So I don't know how many people are going to see this one, Jeff. This is like The Quiet American, that kind of energy. And you're like, well, it was a good movie, but how many people actually went to see this thing?
I mean, if gay people show up, that could be a lot of people, right? But it's
sure.
I don't necessarily always see the gay community support its own at the box office.
Well, I think they support it when it's good. I don't know if they support just anything.
It's just Luca, it's Daniel Craig having very graphic sex. I don't know. This has to appeal. There has to be an audience for this.
Yeah.
It's just whether they'll turn up or not.
It's a good cast. Drew Starkey, Leslie Manville.
Manville looks great, whatever she's doing in this.
Yeah. Jason Schwartzman is in this as well. So, yeah, I like the energy.
Well, I know the movie's I think it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long or something.
Whoa.
That could pose a problem. And maybe it's 225 or 230, but it's over 220, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it says 137 minutes here on Wikipedia.
Okay, that's shorter, but
and that budget was 48 million lira, I think is what they're saying. So
whoa, that's a lot of lira.
I don't know.
I think it's 40 or 50 million, which I think it would be tough to break even on that.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. I guess we'll see. And there's already been some reviews for this. There have been 68 critics who have seen the film and gave it a positive review. It's averaging around 7.1 out of 10 and 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. So interesting stuff. And Metacritic gave it 74 out of 100 based on 27 reviews.
What do you think of Presence?
What's that?
Presence.
Yeah, Presence. The synopsis is what? You were seeing this from the entity's point of view, the ghost's point of view. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I think I'm more impressed in the way it was shot. I was reading about how he shot this thing on a gimbal on that Sony camera with a certain lens. I mean, that was impressive. But I don't know if there was anything in this trailer that made me like, oh, I've got to watch this. So I don't know. What about you?
All right. I think this is a tricky sell.
Yes, it is a tricky sell.
It's a really good movie. But the problem is that they can't tell you what's really going on.
Okay.
I don't want to say too much about it.
Okay.
The less said, the better. And I don't want to call attention to anyone who's not in this trailer, but this is a good movie. I just think it's damn clear they have no idea how to sell it. None.
It's only 85 minutes.
Yeah.
Jeff, it's a quick in and out. You've seen this thing, apparently.
So, big thumb up. Really liked it.
Okay.
But they don't know how to sell it. And I got to say, I don't know how I would sell it either without giving things away. I don't know how I would retain the message.
Well, you're not alone. 43 other people have seen this on Rotten Tomatoes. It has 91%, calling it a, quote, slow-burning spectral thriller. All I read was that you're seeing the movie through the spirit's point of view. And that's all I've read. And I'm like, that's an interesting...
Don't read anymore. If I were you, I'd go in as blind as you possible. I went in blind and
yeah, it
worked. It definitely works.
Well, didn't we just have a horror film from the serial killer's point of view? So this is something different, huh?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sphinx says Trumpers aren't going to see a movie called Queer. I don't know. Maybe not.
I'll put it this way. They're not going to go buy tickets to a movie called Queer. There could be a bump in tickets for The Wild Robot.
Yeah. Yeah. They might go that route again.
And the Moana 2 tickets this November.
I don't need anyone to know. Let's jump into this one here, Jeff. You're a big horror movie fan. How do you feel about this? The Wayans brothers are reuniting here. The scary movie reboot that was announced at CinemaCon, you were at CinemaCon, has finally come together with the franchise's architects reuniting for the first time in 18 years for a new original screenplay. The new scary movie will start shooting next year for a theatrical release with the Wayans brothers there, or the Wayans as father and sons, and Rick Alvarez are writing and producing the movie. Remember, Keenan directed the first two movies, and Marlon and Sean wrote and starred in the first two films as well. And Miramax boss Jonathan Glickman says, "We are thrilled to reunite Scary Movie with the Wayans brothers, the brilliant creators behind the beloved franchise." This is great news, isn't it, Jeff? Because there's been so much horror since the last Scary Movie, which was okay, it wasn't that great, that there's a lot to skewer and make fun of now it is with this with stuff. So is it coming back at the perfect time? And do you think Anna Faris has a cameo in this? What are your thoughts?
I mean, yes, I do think that she will, with them being back, but I don't like this at all.
What? You don't like it? Why?
No, dude, what are we doing here? Is it that simple? Are these executives? I don't know if it's that they're lazy or if they're literally just the same executives who were in place before. Is it like you can't come up with someone else to make this movie? These guys drove the franchise into the ground. I get that they made one or two good ones at first.
They built the franchise, for God's sake.
The Wayans have they haven't done anything funny in the intervening decade or whatever, interceding decade. No. I would have given this to anybody else but them. There are no other funny people around. What the fuck?
Yeah. Also, Alvarez
created it.
Alvarez wrote Marlon Wayans' recent movies, 50 Shades of Black, Sextuplets, and Naked, which I didn't even know about or heard about or anything like this.
They're all forgettable Netflix movies or whatever. Just why not go to Donald Glover with this or somebody exciting? They don't even have to necessarily be black, but
right.
Yeah, the Wayans brothers, man, this feels fucking tired.
Yeah, I kind of like this idea because I want to see what they can do. And sometimes you have to be inspired. I think the reason their scary movies started to fall apart is because there weren't that many horror films to skewer that were hits by the time they were hitting their third or fourth installment. Now that we've had so many, I mean, and different kinds of horror films, like It Follows is about a kind of a pseudo STD situation, so they can skewer that. Longlegs can be skewered. There's so much to be skewered now in the horror realm. Hereditary, Midsommar. I mean, I could totally do a whole thing on Midsommar. I think there's a lot of elements of horror now and a lot more material. So maybe they're inspired by the material to create some of their best work. But if it comes out and this is like a straight to DVD, as we used to say, type film, then it's a shame. It'll be a waste of money and they might not make anything.
Let me ask you this. What do you think the number one thing that they parody is?
Scream.
No. That's what Scary Movie was.
That's what you're asking. I thought that's what you were asking me. What's the number one film they skew?
Now, what is the number one thing now?
I don't know. Well, superhero movies, I guess. What?
No. It's going to be horror movies. So what is the number one horror movie that has endured? Right? Is Get Out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right?
Get Out has to be a big part of whatever this Scary Movie.
That's true. Is. Yeah.
Who stars in an upcoming Jordan Peele production?
Marlon Wayans, right?
Yeah. So it's like
in him, yeah.
What is he gonna do? Like take shots at Peele when Peele just gave him his comeback role? Like I don't know.
Come on. These are comedians, Jeff. Them taking shots at each other is what they do in the green room. So I think they're fine to do it. And they probably asked Jordan to be in it. They'll probably ask Jordan to do a cameo. I think Jordan would totally do a cameo and be in it.
That would be good. If
right?
That's what Wayans used that connection for. That could be funny. Because it's been a while since we've seen Jordan in front of the camera. Not since probably Fargo?
Yeah, I think Argo, yeah. But I mean, look, Calvin says it, Talk to Me. Imagine if Talk to Me is like a porcelain cock you have to put your hands on and that takes you into something like this. Or boobs. I mean, there's something they can do that would work.
So, and that's the thing I said in the newsletter, though.
There's your answer. That's your fucking answer right there. you have a woman of color starring, but also a woman of color who was kicked out of Scream, so she can skewer Scream.
That would definitely make for the best movie. Find someone with literally no sense of humor whatsoever. The least humorous person on the planet, maybe Melissa Barrera. Yeah.
What were you gonna say? I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
I don't even.
Okay. Yeah, Megan. I mean, they could totally skewer Megan, have a doll that like does a. Come on, there's a lot of material here. So
there's plenty of material. I just want to see it filtered through somebody else. I don't know.
You think they're too long in the tooth? That's what you think?
Little, I think they're yes. But okay, no, I know what I was going to say.
Okay.
What the reason that Scary Movie worked as well as it did, right? And the enduring image that I have, right, is the guy blowing the load, right? And it lifts her up to the ceiling, basically. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. And
yes,
it needs to be raunchy.
I agree. 100%.
That's what this franchise needs to do. The Wayans need to bring back the raunch that helped define Scary Movie.
Yeah.
And really push the boundaries with this new one.
See,
and you're right. It is ripe with the hand on the cock with like me and maybe the doll and Megan where he's like fucking Megan or something.
Yeah.
Yes. It needs to be insane.
Five Nights at Freddy's, you could totally do the 5 animatronic things. Yeah, I think there's possibilities here, man. And for me, the enduring image is the glory hole penis through the brain death. That'll never get old. And that shocked the shit out of me the first time I watched it, and every single time I watched that movie when that happened. So
try doing it.
I think that whole theater sequence is great when they kill her for talking on the phone. That's the best. All right, let's move on to something a little sad, Jeff. Teri Garr. We lost Teri Garr this week, sadly. Passed away from complications from multiple sclerosis. She was only 79 years old. She passed away, according to her publicist Heidi Schaefer, surrounded by family and friends. Of course, so many of us grew up enjoying her on in Young Frankenstein and Tootsie, in a number of other Mr. Mom. So many great films that she was a part of. Started out in West Side Story as a dancer, then was a dancer in a bunch of Elvis movies. You can see her in the background as a background dancer. Was in Star Trek series, Dr. Kildare, Batman. And then got into The Conversation, Francis Ford Coppola's film there in 1974. Then I moved into Young Frankenstein, and certainly an iconic role there. Then Oh God as John Denver's wife, and Mr. Mom, and of course, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Black Stallion, The Escape Artist, rather. So many interesting films that she was a part of as a comedian and as a lighthearted actress. And it's a shame. Multiple sclerosis came probably when she could have come on and had a second career as a mom in all of these sitcoms and all of these movies, and eventually a grandmom, because she had such great comedic timing and was such a lovable actress. Your thoughts on her passing? Your thoughts on her career?
Wasn't really a star of my time.
Okay.
But just reading the remembrances of everybody this week, it really did illustrate the incredible career that she did have.
Yeah.
She's a real mainstay of the 80s in particular. And it sounds like everybody just really, really liked her. And it's a shame what happened to her. And she bravely battled MS for a long time.
It's insane that Mel Brooks is outliving all of his leads of his movies. Like, it is fucking insane that old man is still kicking it, right? I mean, this is mind-blowing. Apparently, his biography that was released like 8 or 9 years ago is a must-read, which I've got to get my hands on. But it's phenomenal that he is outliving all of these people who came of age in his movies. It's kind of crazy, dude. But yeah, R.I.P. I love Teri. I mean, Teri was just... I had a crush on her in the 80s. Like, she was so cute and funny and sexy and all of these things that were fun. But she also, as I tweeted out, she also made a really interesting concerted effort in these roles that could have easily just been the wife or the love interest. She played these female characters, showing you the frustration that it was like back then with a lot of women who were with these dudes. And when they went off their rockers, they had to stand by their guys, whether they were right or wrong, like in Close Encounters and Oh God, she stood by them. And so it was an interesting window into marriages in the 1980s and late 70s and what have you. And Mr. Mom is massively influential film showing a woman going to work while it is the husband at home who is being the homemaker. So part of some really fantastic films and fantastic roles. And I think she deserves way more credit than people give her, for God's sakes, as an actress.
R.I.P.
All right. So shall we move on to some questions, or do you want to do more news items? I think we got a lot of
questions
and
the bounce.
We got to get on out of here. All right, let's jump into this thing now. Derek Johnson, thank you very much, Derek. Throwing some early support, then said more support, then some extra support. Thank you, Derek. You're incredibly kind today. Appreciate it, brother man. And then extra support and some more support. Thank you, Derek. My God. And then some extra support more. And then, hey, he's got a question. Love the guy. Love the show, guys. Appreciate the content and honest discussions. Thank you, Derek. You are the best. In a world full of people, be a Derek Johnson. Thank you so much, Derek. Rashad Green says, a reluctance to portray black male superheroes who operate independently of white counterparts, Rogers, Bucky, and Stark, or American ideology. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Is Hollywood's difficulty with the Blade movie symptomatic of a larger issue of a reluctance to portray black male superheroes who operate independently of white counterparts or American ideology? I don't know, Jeff. If that was true, the first Blade wouldn't have worked, right? Black Panther wouldn't have worked necessarily. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just don't think anybody's thinking about it too deeply over there.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're thinking about it on that level at all. But I'm glad that you are, Rashad. I'm glad somebody is.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Rashad. Certainly we see that, I mean, there's certainly some element of truth to what you're saying in certain situations, but I don't think that's necessarily the overall situation here. I think there was just a lot of people with different agendas going into the Black Panther situation, and they haven't been able to find the right one. But rumors are that this script is apparently the one that's kind of finally broken through. So we will see if that works out or not. Quadface is outlaw cousin Jeff. That new Squid Games could be so good looking at us and how quick we throw away morals for cash. Also, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Quad.
Happy birthday, Quadface. Yeah, I think season 2 of Squid Game looks great. There is a lot that you can do. I think that it raised a lot of questions for audiences who enjoyed it, and then the creator of that show probably sees all the reaction that's coming in and can use that as a launching point for season 2.
There's no way you don't have a political bent to it either. There has to be some element of that if you're doing Americans. There just has to be if you're doing it right. And I think Fincher will. Elusive Rock says, Lithgow was amazing as a villain in Blowout. What's your number one go-to horror movie on Halloween? Mine recently is Trick or Treat. Happy Halloween, Hot Mike. I didn't see Blowout if you're talking about the John Travolta film, so I'll have to watch it. Ricochet, was he that good? I don't know. What's your number one go-to horror movie on Halloween, Jeff?
Fucking Halloween.
Oh, there you go.
Obviously, but I mean, short of that, The Shining.
Yeah, I guess I would have to say Halloween, the original, the 1978 one. That one's just unbeaten, for God's sakes. And it still holds up.
There's also Scream, and I actually really love Child's Play. But yeah, you can't go wrong on Halloween.
It's because you're a 90s boy. That's why you like that stuff. Matt Sinister McCall says, I watched 31 horror movies this month. Jesus. Some of my favorites are Scream, Terrifier 2, Trick or Treat, The Descent. Oh, that's a good one. Dead Snow. Dead Snow. What are some of your favorite horror movies, Jeff? There was a list recently, Jeff. So what are some of your favorite horror movies, Jeff? You've mentioned a few.
Candyman.
The
Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Ooh, you're going old school. That's Vincent Price.
Yeah, right? That's an old one. I was trying to get crafty there. I really like The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, fuck that film, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Session 9 is a good one.
Session 9, hell yeah. That's one I always recommend. I
recommended Session 9 to a friend once, and he has never let me forget it. He said it was horrible.
Horrible, like good?
Horrible. Halloween. And I just said, well, you have bad taste. Love Dr. Giggles. Calm down, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That one is, I can only watch that once. If I ever do, it's once a year. It's too much. I think Jaws is a good horror movie. I would have to give Jaws some love on that end. What else? Alien. Come on. Alien is a good horror movie, don't you think?
Alien's fantastic, and it is a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the original Halloween works. The Shining, as Jeff said there. But when I watch The Shining now, I have to watch the documentary right afterwards because I love that weird ass documentary.
Tales from the Hood represent Nerds Engage.
Tales from the Hood.
Demon Knight. I always love Demon Knight.
Well, Demon Knight's good. Night of the Hunter is good. I just recently saw that one. I thought that was not as hard of a horror film. It's more of a tamer horror film, but I think the idea of someone using religion in order to establish themselves to kill and molest, I think, is a really strong situation there. What about the original Manhunter, dude? Do you consider that a horror film? No? All right.
No, that's a thriller.
What about The Thing? I think The Thing is a horror film.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, boy. Jesus Christ.
All right, let's move on.
That's a good one. All right.
Naming horror movies now.
That's enough. All right. Derek also says, I disagree on that Squid Game take. Those actors in the story made the series, and the lead, Lee Jung-jae, has a presence, and you felt each death. These remakes just never bring the intensity needed. Look at the latest Speak No Evil. Yeah, I agree with you, Derek. Transferring foreign to American, it hardly ever works.
You're not wrong. It's the foreign language and everything keeps us off. It does. It keeps us reading. It keeps us like paying attention.
Yeah.
And you're right, because we don't know like who necessarily is a bigger star next to who.
Right.
And you don't know who's going to die. Whereas in a U.S. remake, you almost could predict the order based on how big the stars are and all that kind of stuff. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's going to stop Netflix one way or the other. And I do think that
it's true.
I think that, yeah, Lee Jung-jae was great. I think that you could probably find a better actor.
Ooh, okay. Derek Johnson also says, Jeff, for God's sakes, just lean into the sexuality, man. Put the sex swing back there in the paddles. LOL. Just own it, brother. And don't be mad when we got some jokes too. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, the sex swing didn't fit in this place, man. It's too small. No place to hang it.
It's in a fucking kitchen. I know it is. Now and again, production says, any thoughts now that Day Drinker is confirmed with Depp and Penelope Cruz? Sweeney is with Lionsgate for the housemaid. Did that cause any confusion? Yeah, Jeff, is this any thoughts now that Day Drinker is
these are all AFM movies, so like take everything with a grain of salt. Yeah. But I think it only validated it. I told you Johnny Depp's doing a movie with Day Drinker from Mark Webb, and it was Sydney Sweeney. People are moving in and out of these movies. People who were announced in the last 3 days of movies will not be in these movies a week from now.
Yeah.
Okay. That is how quickly things move about and schedules get changed and all that stuff. So the idea, right, that I made this whole package up, which was clearly being shopped all around earlier this year with Sydney Sweeney, right? Like did 5 people just like happen to pull her name out of a hat? Did I pull her name out of a hat? She was doing it with Johnny Depp and Mark Webb, and now she's not, and now Penelope Cruz is in for it. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that this report only validated my story. And good for, Sydney Sweeney probably couldn't get $7.5 million out of the Day Drinker producers.
Yeah.
So yeah, she took the gig on Housemaid or whatever the fuck it is. Like, it all comes down to money and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, guys. So
I mean, look at Stallone. He was going to be in that Cliffhanger sequel / reboot, whatever it is, and now he's not.
Right. No one is claiming, that Stallone, that whoever reported that Stallone was going to be in is like a liar and a fraud.
Exactly.
Now, it's just like it was disingenuous of Sydney Sweeney to go on there and say, well, these are just rumors. Okay, yeah, they are rumors that because you were going to do it and now you're not. But the idea that it wasn't being shopped with you, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. They always got a brand save their bullshit. Derek Johnson says, extra support. Love the show, guys. Thank you, Derek. Dennis Hoffman says, can't join live, but huge fan, fellas. Thank you, Dennis. King Sport Cal donated for the movie pundit conversation. Thank you, King. Very kind of you, bro. Thank you, Calvin. Samo says, thoughts on Honora, and have you seen it yet, John? I did not. There was a 6:00 screening tonight, but just at 6:00, no other time. And it was sold out yesterday morning by the time I saw it. So clearly this area loves good movies and knows where their bread is buttered, and people are buying these tickets. So I will definitely make my way over to see Honora if it's showing somewhere else this weekend. I got to see that movie. Jeff's already talked about it, but Jeff, do you want to add anything more to it?
Really liked Honora. I think it's my number 2 movie of the year right now.
Hmm. Matt Sinister McCall says Snyder's winning Pennsylvania. President Jeff 2024.
I thought about running. I think I could do a good job, but I'd probably blow up on somebody at some point on the campaign trail, and then it would be all over.
I think if I became president, I'd have to. Oh no, my camera just went out. Sorry, guys. Must be the heat.
And now you guys just get to look at me. So look at this. I've been exfoliating.
What the hell is going on here? That's
a little
weird.
Minoxidil in my hair.
I must have been on too long.
Seedlings back.
I don't even know what to put on. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, let's see how long that lasts. It can't be too long, but we'll see. All right. Dan Ivy says, "Hey guys, love the show. How about a crossover with the Hot Mic and the Critically Acclaimed Network sometime? Bibbs podcast. Thanks. We want guests." Oh, I don't know. I think it'd be fun, but I don't know if you can handle us.
I was just gonna say no one could handle being a guest on the show. We're too honest. We'd ask them.
Yeah. Especially, well, I think Bibbs can handle it, but he might get his feelings hurt. Matt Sinister McCall says, "Love when Claude beats his son to death in Wolfman." Oh, Claude Rains. Oh yeah.
I love when anyone beats their son to death.
What? So. Don't know. Those are the opinions of fact. Those are
these are jokes. Guys, let me tell you about something. Back in the day, this thing existed. It was called a joke.
We don't do jokes anymore, buddy.
Well, it's not a political rally. I mean,
hey, yeah, exactly. Tony Hinchcliffe, you prick. All right. Love says, will the movies or movie industry be affected by whoever wins the election? If so, what? Jeff, that's a valid question, I feel like. Because everyone seems to be going on like nothing's going to happen no matter who wins. We got all these projects in motion. We're going to do all these things. Will the movie industry be affected by whoever wins the election, or is it does it not matter?
I don't think that the business itself will be affected. Like, Trump's going to come in and let more mergers and acquisitions happen, or Kamala's going to win and put her foot on those or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if I see that, but I think that if Trump wins, you'll see it in the movies themselves. You'll feel it like, 4 more years of Trump, I was just freaking. This will be the interview, right? It'll be some director. When Trump won, I felt hopeless, and this film's a reaction to that feeling,
Yeah.
So I think it'll come out in the themes of movies, but the actual Hollywood business and its way of operating won't change.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. Anonymous says, what happened to the Anthony Ramos movie Distant? And Will Speck and Josh Gordon directing it, wrapped filming 4 years ago, but hasn't had a release date since January of 2023. Jeff, any news on that? Do you know anything that's going on? Ooh, Jeff, what's that face? Can you say?
Hold on 1 second.
Ooh, all right. John and Jeff 20. You don't want us in the White House. It would not be good. I'm a liberal Trump. You don't want me in the White House. I'd go after conservatives, for God's sakes. Well, now, I mean, Trump people, not conservatives.
You know what? I'll see if I can get an update on that by next week.
Okay. All right.
I checked in at the start of the year on that, and it sounded like something would happen with it, but everybody was unclear as to when. Yeah. But it's probably time to circle back and look at that. I mean, again, with Ramos, like, how bad can it be? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's a rising star, but it also may just be too expensive where no one else wants to buy it because it's cost prohibitive.
Yeah. Mr. Torrance says, what's up, guys? Greetings from the UK. Been following for years and was wondering, what are some of your favorite horror films, and are you fans of Hereditary with Toni Collette? It's my favorite ever besides Exorcist and The Shining. Thanks. Torrance, I think we answered some of that, brother, but are you fans of Hereditary with Toni Collette? I still haven't seen it, Jeff.
What?
That's one I have not seen yet. So.
You've never seen Hereditary. That's wild.
No. I've got to see this.
Yeah, you should see Hereditary. Hereditary is pretty good.
Okay.
I mean,
so you like it?
I saw it at Sundance and my jaw dropped.
Oh, damn. If Jeff's jaw dropped, that is a good positive for a horror film.
It's a good one.
All right, Philly 19057 says, if Denzel does indeed win his third Oscar for Gladiator 2, where would you guys rank him as far as one of the all-time greats?
He's a top 10.
Yeah, 100% top 10. 100%.
He's a top 10 actor. I mean, John, I'm sure my top 10 looks a lot different than John's, because I have no respect for older actors. So John will have like Peter O'Toole and like, the greats like Henry
Brando.
These guys are not on my list. No.
Yes, it's true. Michael H says, R.I.P. Teri Garr. I usually watch Young Frankenstein on Halloween, and now I have another reason. Yeah, that's true. And we talked about it. Thank you, Mike. Samo says, since we are close to election day, favorite political movie? Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I would say a few years ago, I stumbled upon A Face in the Crowd, the Elia Kazan film. I highly, highly recommend this film. Andy Griffith plays this guy named Lonesome Rhodes, who is essentially like a singer-songwriter, but he's kind of a savvy guy who plays like he's dumb, but he's a lot smarter and sinister than you think. And he gets in a position to possibly become president. It is a cynical film, but it is so well done and so well directed and written. Honestly, if you're into political movies, that is one that you all should absolutely watch. And aside from that, I thought George Clooney's Ides of March is a good political movie as well. Jeff, do you have any good political movies? Yes.
Nick of Time, starring Johnny Depp. It's about a political assassination.
Good choice. I saw someone try to tell me that. Oh, never mind. This is not a conversation for you. You wouldn't get it. Samuel says, thoughts on Zachary Levi's downfall with his films flopping now supporting Trump. Would you all say that he will go to the Daily Wire route with Gina in a movie? Maybe. I don't know.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I just think Zachary saw that no one was watching his shit anymore. He saw an opportunity to embrace Trump and then make it seem as if that's the reason no one's going to his movies, when in fact it's because no one wants to go to his movies anymore. He's not that interesting anymore, and he didn't want to face the facts. So
he ever interesting? Like, I mean, he lucked out as Shazam. Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, would Harold in the Purple of Crayon have made zillions of dollars had it been Owen Wilson instead of him? I don't think so.
I don't know. But
I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with like Trump. The guy doesn't get offered good projects and then he accepts the bad ones and nobody goes to see him.
No one wants to see him. Anthony B, this is our last one, says, hey, happy Halloween, John and Jeff. Thank you. These darn kids are bothering me with free candy requests when your show is more important. I'm looking forward to A Complete Unknown, but how does a movie like it get so much Oscar buzz before any screenings are held? I think
the element
screenings, right?
It's no, I don't. It's screened for maybe like a couple of people, probably like Chris Tapley or whatever. But it gets the buzz because of the elements, because it's James Mangold and it's Timothy Chalamet and it's a Bob Dylan. It's a music biopic. Look at how music biopics have performed. All that kind of stuff. I'm skeptical. I mean, I've heard good things about the movie.
Yeah.
I heard Monica Barbaro is the best one in the movie, which has to be troubling, which is a little, maybe concerning.
Don't bias.
Other people say Timmy's going to win Best Actor, so it's all over the place right now. We'll see when they invite Menzel and Simon and Drew into the movie. We'll see if it's any good.
And Jazz, yes. Here's some other ones. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Definitely. All the President's Men is a good one. Air Force One is a good one. Idiocracy is a perfect one for us right now. Dave, people like Dave. Jeff, you like Dave. Selma, that's a good one too. So there you go.
I like Dave. Who doesn't like Dave?
That's what I'm saying. It's a good political movie. I'm saying. All right. Well, that's everything. I think that's all the stream. Oh, I think we got one more that came through. I can't remember. Yeah. Over under.
Because I always hear about it.
Over under 50% Terrifier 4 crosses 100 million if it happens. Oh, no, way under. Way under. Way under. All right, that's it. All right, thanks, guys, for hanging out with us on this Halloween. We appreciate it madly. Jeff, where can they follow you and subscribe to your newsletter, brother?
TheInsnider.com. I'll be right back.
There you go. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Please subscribe to the channel down below and hit that bell button. Leave your comments on everything we talked about, for God's sakes. And don't forget, we have a podcast feed. For those of you who are still watching and listening right now, we have a podcast feed. Go and subscribe to our podcast feed. Want to get those numbers up so we can get some sponsors for the show. Would really appreciate you all doing that.
Guys. Saturday morning, I've got a live FYC show. We're going to be revisiting Best Picture. So check that on Paris Channel.
Good stuff. And for those of you who watch Agatha, we just did our spoiler review. The Geek Buddies, it is out on this channel right now for you all to watch the last 2 episodes. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the Hot Mic. Peace until then.